we now want to create an animated version of our logo. Basically we're going to take the 3 logos we've created previously and show them for several seconds and then switch between each one. So as we can see on screen, we have a basic version changing from the puzzled expression to the idea or the excitement, and then back to the basic Stanmore College. So we're going to use 3 different logos and show them frame by frame so that we have an animated version. Okay, so in Fireworks we start with, I've loaded my first logo. It may look slightly different than the one you've made, but it doesn't matter. So I've opened up Fireworks, got my smiley logo in place. Now to create the animation in Fireworks we use something called the frames. Well, to explain, this is actually called frames in the version of Fireworks I'm using. In CS4 these are called states. So where I talk about frames here, if you're using CS4 you look for states. It works exactly the same, I've just changed the naming. And the way it works is that we have to create a frame or a state for each of our images, for each one of our images. So frame 1, every canvas you create, every graphic you create has 1 frame by default. First thing I want to do is change the timing. I want to change how long this frame will stay on screen. If you look at the right hand side here, you'll have a number. If I double click on this, a little drop down box comes up showing frame delay. This is the number of, it's in hundredths of seconds. This is the number of hundredths of seconds this frame will stay on screen. I want this to stay on screen for 3 seconds. So 3/100ths of a second is the time I'm going to put there. So in the animation, this part's going to stay on screen for 3 seconds. What I now want to do is create some additional frames for my other images, the other logos that I want to show in my animation. If I go down to my frame panel here, I should say, by the way, to get these panels, if it's not showing the frame panel or the state panel if you're using CS4, then use your window option and you'll see states or frames there. You click on it and that panel will appear on the right hand side. Both versions of Fireworks use the same icons. If you go down to the bottom here, you'll see that there is a little icon that says new or duplicate frame. We've got some other options in the top right hand corner here where you could do exactly the same thing. What I'm going to do is create a new frame. I'm just going to click here and it comes up with frame 2, which at this point in time it's the same size canvas as my original frame, but it's actually just blank at the moment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to import my second logo to appear here. If I right click my mouse, if I go down to import, and I'm going to take the Fireworks version, so the .png file, PNG file of my second logo. The second one I need, I've actually named it Smiley 3, but it doesn't really matter. Just find the second one you want in the sequence. So this should be the excited logo. Now when you do the import, you'll see that there's this this little bracket that appears. This is to allow you to tell Fireworks where you want the image imported to. I want the whole of the canvas. I'm going to go to the top left hand corner, click my mouse, and my second logo appears. So my first one was the surprised, the puzzled expression. The second one is an excited expression. You'll notice if I look over the frame side here, it's set at 300 seconds, so it's taken, sorry, 3/100ths of a second. So this is going to run for 3 seconds. I actually want this, I'm going to change this, I'm going to make this slightly shorter. I'm going to put a time of 200 hundredths of a second. So this frame's going to run for 2 seconds, slightly shorter than the first one. Let's do the third frame. So I need a third frame for my final logo, my final part of the animation. So I've clicked on create a new frame. I've got frame 3, same thing, blank canvas, right click the mouse, import, and then find the image that you want to appear here, position your cursor, left click, and then you've got it. This is set to the same frame delay as the previous frame. I want to make that 3 seconds, so let's change that to 300. Okay, so I've got my 3 frames in place. I've got my basic animation ready. I can test it roughly if I look down here by clicking on the play button, and we see that each of the logos appears in sequence. And each one should be for the timing, running through on the timing that we've got on this side. Okay, that is the animation, very simple. Let's now save it. Now we've got to save this in a format that the animation will work when it's played in a web browser or another player. We have to save it as an animated GIF format. We use the same format, the same options we used before. So we use File, I'm going to look at Image Preview, and let's see what we get. Now at the moment the default is a GIF format. If I do the drop down, animated GIF, and then all 3 images will be in there. The other things, alpha transparency, I'm going to leave at the default. I can again test here what this animation is going to look like, so let's have a look. Starting with the confused, puzzled, happy, and Stanmore College. So that's what I want, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to press export, and then I just give it a name, so I can call it something sensible like Stanmore Animated, leaving the extension as a GIF format, and then just export. And that's it. And to test it out, if you actually go to your animated GIF version, so if you go into Stanmore Animated GIF, whatever you saved it as, and if you want to test it, you can run it in a web browser and the animation should work. And as you see, it just circles through a simple animation.